Everything's fixed except for me being so excited I got a stream that I'm positive the sound is going to be good on that I forget to unmute it. How do I sound now, Tom? it's, so, it's so typical. Should sound good, though. It should sound clean. We should not be having any other problems. Hey, Tiger and Nat the cat. All of the robot sounds and all those sounds should be gone. Like, we shouldn't have to deal with them anymore. Like I said, I traced it back to two different things. I thought it was one thing. I got rid of that one thing. It got better. I tried to live stream earlier. It was not better. And so now I found one of my old little cables. It's gold plated that I used to use for way back when, and it's a really nice cable. I've had it for like 20 years, and it's what fixed this problem, rerunning some cables and taking a fan out of the loop. So, yay, no more horrible sounds. Hopefully, let's pray. I don't do any of that, but it's a saying either way. I have some great stones to work on here, and I worked on some great stones yesterday, and some people sat there and listened to that horrible buzzing for like an hour and made me think it was like not that big of a deal, and it definitely was. When I went back and listened to the recording, it was definitely a big deal. Right. And actually, you know what? I should probably just put it back on the face while I deal in my camera. Got to put my camera where I need it to be. It's a lot slower like this than if I say had a remote. For some reason, when you use the buttons on the screen of this camera, it's really slow. But once I get the angle just right, it should be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen around, and there we go. It's about the angle we want, just over the shoulder. So these beauties I worked on yesterday. And I've been commissioned in trade to make a video for a friend of the channel. So I'm going to not finish polishing these on live stream, but I'm going to finish tuning them up. This one's ready to go for its final polish. It's already been polished, but then, I saw things I didn't like. I fixed those things, and so now it's going to go for its final polish. Yeah, last night's stream was way worse than I thought it was, Tom. That was with my whole first dissertation. When you came in, I wasn't hearing anything. This one, I want to give it a little bit of a better polish. I want to see if some more of that blue and purple will come out a little bit, but there is a really thin blue. On top of that really thin blue is a really thin brown, and then on top of that brown is a really thin purple. So it ends up making sort of an odd playback of color to where at certain angles you can see it really brightly, and certain angles you can't see it at all. So I'm just going to polish that up some more because I really don't want to lose the colors that are there. This is everything I did yesterday, and I'm talking about it now because I deleted that video. That video is so horrible on the audio, I just couldn't have it up, so I got rid of it. Hey, Margaret, everything's fixed. You liar, it was not tolerable yesterday. You just wanted me to stay on. I went and listened to that. Oh, my God, it was so bad. Like, nobody's going to trust my live streams anymore because I can't get it together, and I think I finally got it together. So this one, I had left little lips here, and I had left those lips thinking it was something for the gold to hold on to, but then I realized that the stone is so nice, and I might get rid of some more of this gold bronze on top of the red just by a really nice polish. So I'm going to repolish this after I removed some of the excess that was there to where now, from all angles on the top, it's just a really nice gemstone, and it has these little pieces on the bottom that will sit really nicely in gold. You know, if it has a ring that's manufactured around it, which this stone absolutely deserves to have a ring manufactured around it. This shouldn't be put in like something that's not actually made for the stone. Let's see, this one I actually didn't touch yesterday. I had fixed this one up before. I think I just want to polish it up a little bit more. It all has changing color directional play. It's always on, just depends on, you know, what direction you're seeing it from, on what color you're going to get. Sort of a light purple and a fuchsia and an orange and a green. And then this is the last stone I worked on yesterday. Not the last one in line, but you know, the last one that I haven't talked about yet. And this is one of the stones for my buddy. That, you know, my family lived in his backyard in our bus for a little while. We were on some hard times. So this is for him and his wife. I'm sending them 2 of these and a sunstone I've been sitting on forever, meaning to send them. And now today, this is what I plan on working on. Now that we got some proper sound and everything, the last couple of stones. This stone, generally, I need to recut it. The direction was all bad. I fixed the direction and the way that the stone was laying. I got it all cabbed out, and it's all polished, but it's been touched by some tools along the way of the shaping, and then the color's not on enough. The color's not on from all angles enough. It's really sort of dim. I want to bring it out some more. Like, this is Slaughter Mountain piece, this is Opal Hill piece, and I want this piece to stand out like this piece because we all know it can. It's from Slaughter Mountain. And being that this is going to be the least of the fine work, the other 3 pieces are going to be more detailed work. This is definitely detailed work. I want to be warmed up before I touch that. This is super detailed work. I want to be warmed up before I touch either of those. So I'm going to start on this, and this one is even broader work than this one, but this is a really great stone, so I'm going to start with a really pretty stone. Thank you, Tom. And I'm going to be putting for this stone right now, I'm going to be using a 600 flame tip. Actually, this is a bullet tip. I really like large flame tips, but this is a bullet tip. Having to move stuff a little bit. Every time I go to reposition my mic, I grab it by the neck, and that's where the release is. So I end up not repositioning it. I just end up catching it and clipping it back in. Moving everything when I didn't mean to. Now, you know what I should have done before I even got to this point? What I should have done is let me find a always keep fine tip Sharpies. You're gonna need them. Unless you're cutting stones that never have cracks in them or anything like that. There we are, my bag of fine tip Sharpies. My bag of junk, actually, but all lapidary junk. and camera junk. Yay, it's not dead. It's probably been sitting in there for like a year or more. Alright, and go back to the other camera. So these are hard to see once the water starts running over them. You start missing what areas had actually been hit by other tools and what areas you need to smooth out. So this is how, somebody told me about, and it works really good, so I always use it. This is how I go about making sure that I get all the little nicks and all the little scrapes in something if they've been put in there. Oops, that wasn't one. That one spot on top didn't really want to take it. Didn't realize I'm not on camera. I moved a bunch of stuff I shouldn't have moved, but comfortability with my back is most important and should be with you too, because being out of whack a little bit and thinking it's no big deal, and then the next day you'll wake up and your neck will be all screwed up and you can't barely do anything. Alright, now I got lots of drawings on here. Focus for me, camera. There you go. Pull it together, bud. These robotic cameramen, I tell you what, are not worth their salt. Yes, it is. Appreciate that, Jimmy. Oh, are you kidding me? Looks like I didn't use enough glue. Rather upsetting. I'm not sure how much of this I can finish without having that docked. And it's already making my hand cramp up. So I am going to That green's starting to pop out way better. I need to change the camera angle a little bit too. I'm gonna go grab some super glue real fast. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab this other stone I gotta work sort of broad on and get this other one glued up real fast. Put it on one of these broader heads. Wish I had longer nails though. That one's really long, but it won't fit. I'll fix this. Here. Oh man, got that corrugated top. This one's not work as good. Might work better too. Alright, hopefully that does it. On to the next one. Alright, this one's pretty simple. We want to get rid of the brown, get down to that fiery orange, maybe even go through it, because when I was looking at this under magnification, it looked like there might be green underneath the yellow, like it might go orange, yellow, green. Which that's totally possible. But before I do that, I'm going to try and bring out the color on these edges and the brown sections that are connecting to the colorful sections. And since I'm so close to the color, I'm only using a 600 burr, obviously, because I didn't change my burr from the last one. And there's nothing saying that that bright orange, fire orange red is going to run over either. Although I do remember there's a section right here I need to go over. Trying to bring out more color, more color, more color. Less brown, any bright neon. Pool noodles, and they're okay. They're needed. They're absolutely needed, but they're too high. This whole thing is too high. Honestly, what I need to do is I need to raise the whole table up about 3 inches, and then maybe about 2 inches, and then sink this into the table itself. This needs to be a part of the table with a frame around it that I can lean inside of, because it's all about keeping the spray contained so I can wash it easily, you know, so I can wipe it down easily. So the toxicity is in one area. The toxicity of our city. I've been listening to a lot of them recently. I've been going back to the mid and early 2000s on music recently on Spotify. Which, oh my God, you start listening to Spotify for a minute and it absolutely forces you to buy a premium subscription. I mean, you're like bombarded with the worst commercials ever. I mean, I hate the Joe Rogan podcast now. I used to love the Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube. I listened to it all the time, and I would go and listen to it. If I couldn't get YouTube in an area, I would like download it on different podcast streaming sites and such. And now there's so many commercials that you pretty much have to listen to. I mean, maybe you can skip them if you sit there at your computer and try and skip them, but it hasn't worked for me on my phone. And oh God, it's torture. It's absolutely torture listening to the same commercials for like 15 minutes before the show starts. And then some in between too. And I pay for a premium subscription to Spotify and I'm listening to that crap. Yeah, I'm not sure if those bubbles out there are going to give me what I'm looking for. Not sure on this side either. Trying to get that area right there to give me that gem color, but it's just not wanting to pop out. Oops, didn't mean to move that right in the way of the camera. Now I remember why my light's right where it is. I was trying to move it so I could see a little bit better, but it's because it's the perfect light for the camera so you guys can see really good. It's us paying twice. What are you talking about? What's us paying twice? Oh, dang it, I forgot my lap towel again, and now I'm starting to drip water all over my lap. I'm remembering it. Uh-oh. My I stepped on my power outlet. Turned everything off. I'm gonna grab a towel with that. No frickin' buzzing. I mean, what the hell, right? Where's the damn buzzing? Inspecting the stone. Sorry, I should be doing that. Like that. I'm gonna have to use a smaller burr to get to that. Might not even want to get to it. Might just want to leave that alone and let it come out and polish. So I'm doing right there is I'm using the edge of that area that I want to round a little bit anyways, because you know sharp edges break with gemstones, whereas round edges bounce and roll and tumble, but they don't chip and break. So softening the edges, and while I'm doing that, I'm getting a chance to window it a little bit, and I'm not really getting confident that there's going to be any of that red on the back end of this stone. I think that that brown is sort of what you get, at least on the back section. It's what it's appearing like. Which, I mean, the plus to that is if I want to, it makes it real easy to clean up the back end of this stone on my wheels. Look at it under some magnification real fast. Yeah. See if there's anything else in the stone I want to address, because to tell you the truth, the color definitely stops right here. So this is the stone that I pretty much already have there. Question though is, am I really close enough to the red? Because the yellow is more appealing than a brown. For sure. So getting everything with the little divot right here I want it to get. I don't want to create any tool marks either. I want to keep the natural flow of the stone so the light plays properly. Well, I think I might be there. Dry it off, see what it looks like dry. Oh, when I pay for a premium channel, then I have to watch commercials. It's like paying twice. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and that's where one of the problems with the whole thing that's going on with YouTube right now, and they're doing like their own subscription services, trying to get you to pay for like YouTube Premium. The views for a creator are much smaller on something like YouTube Premium. Like you get paid way less per view than you do on regular YouTube. And regular YouTube, the pay per view is not like it's fantastic or anything. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's better than nothing, but making it to where why won't it stay focused? We're gonna add track on or something. There we go. So yeah, that whole subscription thing, and then they take 50% of it, which that drives me crazy too. Because I mean, just when like I would have people donate to the live streams, you know, and they would take like it was like 35% or something like that. I thought that was crazy, and that was like 35%. Then this whole subscription base, and they're taking like 50%. I mean, I think it's a tad crazy. Because at that point, you know, the other thing is that they're doing that subscription thing, and the reason it really messes with Patreon and a creator's abilities to work with Patreon and use Patreon is that part of the way I was doing my Patreon originally was that I was putting commercial-free content on there. And now what YouTube has done is YouTube has decided that any content that they deem presentable for advertisers, they can advertise on it regardless of whether you put commercials on it and want ad revenue or not. So the whole free platform thing to post stuff up is not exactly true anymore. Whether you want it to be free or not, YouTube can be like, yeah, no, this thing's getting way too many views. We're definitely putting ads on it, and there's nothing you could do or say about it. Well, I think it's definitely exposed a lot more. What do you think? It is a fiery orange and yellow. Question is, I don't really want to ruin the stone, and all the edges are so good right now. I sort of want to see what's under the yellow, but if I go too far and I go past the yellow and there's nothing there, then I have a dead spot where I used to have color. This thing's wanting me to believe it's a really bright red underneath there. Yep, time for magnification again, because it's trying to tell me there's a really bright red underneath there. Which that would be better if I could just go through the yellow here and then get to a red. I mean, that's really peaking red. All these things are plugged into the same power strip. Boy, it is so bright coming out under there. I cannot even tell with 10-time magnification. Oh, yeah. I think I can barely go for it. I'm not absolutely greatly confident, but I've ruined a couple of stones really going for a better color. I've made a couple of stones better, too. But I can see that that's definitely a different color than the fiery orange. I do believe that underneath that yellow is a red. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Problem is holding this thing and getting the angles just right to circle these bubbles and not lose any of the color. Because if I just go trying to get to the color, then I definitely lose sections of it by the time I get to polish. But if I just trace this stone just right, I won't lose any. Oh, I see what part of my problem is. I'm not leading my my leash basically through the right section. But I mean, look how, oh, you can't see, look how bright that is. Really bright. Little brown stone didn't look like much, but if it's a dead red when I'm done, it'll be extremely valuable. You know how it is, that red. Red is the color of money when it comes to gemstones. That absolutely proves it for me too right there. It's looking more yellow to you guys than it actually is. Might be a reflection issue with the rest of the stone. But that is really red rolling all across right to there. From that point, it's pretty orange to me. Lightly caressing it with this 600. Want to keep all that shape that's already there. Just remove some of the orange. And really the orange is showing up really yellow to the naked eye. You can see it's sort of yellowish green. I mean, on camera, this is looking really, really orange, but here, over here to me, that's really red, and I think that it's reflecting off of this and giving an orange, because, yeah, the color of red to me is so much brighter than what you guys are seeing. You guys are seeing, like, really bright orange. I'm seeing, like, super duper bright red, especially, like, in the center of that ball right there. You guys can't even see. There's a little red eye that's starting to peek out of it, and it's not even showing up on camera to you guys. Don't get me wrong, it's still a nice looking fire agate, but it's not. What I'm seeing and what you're seeing is not the same thing. When you're this close to the color and you're just taking off the last couple of layers with your hard burr, you're not using any pressure. I'm not using any pressure. I won't talk about you like that. My bad. Oh, back the camera up. Dang it, now it looks better. Doing some funky stuff I didn't want it to do. So the slower you go, the more control you have. So if you hear my engine and it's like moving way slower, then I'm trying to be really precise with what I'm doing. Whereas you hear the engine, it's like wah wah wah, then trying to burn through it. Sure, that other stone super glue is going to be dry by the time I'm done with this one. I really didn't think I was going to spend this much time on this. I thought that the top color layers, because it was such a thin stone, was going to be pretty much all it had to offer. So I thought I was just going to be carving for that orange that was originally there. Yeah, this is from California. This is from California. This is from California. This is from California. But you know, you can buy fire agate from me cheaper than you can go out and find fire agate like this. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. They're like, $100 for a small box of rocks? boy, you're going to spend more than $100 on food and gas. Like, $100 to get in is not bad to guarantee you're going to carve a stone. Like, a guaranteed stone's going to come out of my $100 boxes. If you don't get one banger out of there, then there's something wrong, because I've gotten way better about understanding what I'm sending to people and trying to make sure I send people the right things. Like when I first dug fire agate and I sent somebody a grub stake box and they wanted fire agate, and I sent them what I had dug, and I didn't understand fire agate when I got there. I didn't understand how hard it was going to be. That it was going to be much more difficult than digging for opals was in Virgin Valley. Like, as far as the hardness of the material of the rock you're going to be going through is much more hard. And I sent the guy basically all but one piece of the fire agate I got out of the ground, and he had a fit about not finding any color in it. And I refunded him almost all of his money. He was like in the UK or something. He was being a total asshole. I also blocked him from my channel, though, because he was being such a dick about it. Like, he was calling me a scammer and like saying, you're either stupid or you're scamming me. And unfortunately, at that point, I was stupid. And I mean, it was obvious that I barely knew what I'm doing. You know, like, I don't hide that fact. I don't try to act like I'm a geologist when I'm not. But that guy was rather upset, and now I understand why. Because if he would have just got one piece that even looked like this, he probably would have been super excited. Yes, it is. It's very hot. Now, the other thing is that a lot of these stones don't start off looking like this. You know, if you want to see, this is one of the best stones I've had come out of the ground to where it was already showing it was going to be a great stone. And it's turned out to be even better than what I thought it was going to be when it was coming out of the ground. But this is one of the easiest carves I've ever done. And it took like 2+ hours. Like, there's 2 hours of video up of me carving this. And it was probably more like 3 hours. And it still wasn't done because, as you can see, I've tuned it up again here. And I've put other work into it to make it, you know, a finished fire agate gemstone that's ready to be set in gold. That's that top grade. Come fuck with me, opals. That's a fire agate that makes opal lovers go, wow, really? And when I see the price of some of the opals and what they sell for and the quality and the color coming out of them as opposed to what we have access to with fire agate, it's flabbergasting that we can't get more money. Which makes me think that that's just because the people that go and dig fire agate are a bunch of cheap bastards that won't pay for it. Pay $500 to go and dig for some shit. They won't pay $500 for it. Might have dug in a little bit too hard there. Didn't want to change the angle. There's a little spot right there. They just could not get it to come out, and now I think I went too far on that one spot because there was a little dip of red in there. Now that dip of red is gone, and it's bronze right below there. All because I'm trying to get that little ledge right there. Now I'm going to stop working that section and come back over to here and expose it as red, and then work back over that way. As long as it's not dead, I'm fine with it. So, I mean, even if it's like all these yellows and stuff, it's still a great looking stone. Well, yes, but the reason it's probably never going to be as popular as opals is because of the difficulty in carving it. The reality is that this work right here and the amount of time that goes in and the stress that it can be on your body is 100 times more than what you're going to deal with typically if you're dealing with opals. I can cut tons of opals in the amount of time it takes me to cut one fire agate. The value in fire agate should be in the stone, but it should also be in the quality of the cut. And I don't think there's enough people out there that understand the difference in a truly quality cut piece of fire agate and, one that's not. One that might have outstanding color on it, but you can tell that it was originally cut on wheels and that's how they exposed the color. And then in order to fit the contours of what was exposed on the wheel, then that contradicts how the agate is, instead of a piece of fire agate that's totally contradicted by the stone itself. You know what I mean? The depth of the contours and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against tumbling stones at all. But the final product that you come out with, out of a tumbled stone is going to look different than the final product out of a stone that has all of its natural ridges and edges. Come on, this little edge go from orange to bright red. I'm done messing with that little other spot. At this point, that spot has scared me so much of losing too much color in the stone that if this spot don't start to go red for me, I'm just going to go ahead and polish it up and take my Firestone. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take what I got and be happy with it instead of losing color, chasing what might be super thin bar. Definitely nice and bright. Way brighter than it was. Now, might want to brighten up the top a little bit. This area up here. That didn't take very much. And this back end, I'll just go ahead and throw that on my wheels again before I take it to its final polish. I'll just brush that up since it's nice and rounded. Won't waste my time cutting it by hand if I don't have to. I saw that was all out of but screw it. Alrighty. Now these two, bit of beautiful pains in the asses here. This one has amazing color. This is California too. Both these are also California. Have amazing color on them. But the tops, I thought there was blue that was going to come out and purple, and it's very dim. It's definitely like a grapey color, but it's surrounded by neon. I sort of lost it on this side. I'm questioning whether I should go ahead and carve all this dim and see if I can expose some more stuff that looks like this, or just go ahead and cut the side of it off and lay that. That's a pretty awesome ring laying on its side right there. That would be a really nice stone. I mean, I like it better full 3D. This one's a sort of a pain in the butt, though. This one, not so much a pain in the butt on decision making. pretty much know what I need to do with this. I'm probably going to lose some of this purple. I have a little scratch in that from the Chalcedony cap that broke off of this. It took a piece out of the purple and made a little notch right there. I polished it, a little flat spot. But the purple is actually taking away from the brightness of the whole stone. You can see it with your naked eye a little bit, but it's so light that it actually gives a brown cast. And the same thing with this red. At certain angles on the green, it looks almost brown instead of red. So I think I want to polish this up a little bit and fix some of these rust lines and fix some of these areas that are not quite polished the way they should be. Because as you can see from the way this stone turns, like it's just bars of color. At least on the top, because there's a dead spot. So I'm going to get my 600 out. Well, I already got my 600 out. That's all I've been using today is the 600. In all honesty, I should probably start with a smaller burr. A lot of the things I want to fix are on the smaller side. These cracks, getting inside the crevices, the white spots deep in there. Yep, smaller burr time. Alright, I am going to be right back, guys. Give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. Probably like 3. Alright, I'm back. Alright. So to get into the really fine points, I'm going to need a new focus for me. Come on, man. You really got to pull it together. Focus. Come on, you can do it. There you go, fucker. So, I'm going to use this brand new fine tip, and I'm going to get into some of these crevices with this white. In some of these areas, if I can't get into it, then I'm going to use a toothpick and some Diashine. But I really want to get rid of those little areas that have that white like that in there. And the rust line, where it looks like rust, I want to get rid of the rust. I mean, honestly, it's better than nothing, but it really distracts from the color. If there's color underneath of it, you know, sometimes there'll be color underneath of it, and sometimes you'll remove the rust that's right below the color, and there'll be no color. So, yeah. There's another one I might need to draw. I don't see what I'm going for right there. I'll move the camera back a little bit so it'll quit being such a finicky. I think I'm just going to have to let it go right there. And see it's starting to cut in, but I don't want it to. I have to leave that alone from that point, I think. This stone is easily the most important stone to me. This is like the first really, really great stone I ever found. I'm trying to get this just right. Get that area right there is being super duper stubborn. Super duper stubborn. It's laughing at me and telling me if I want to get rid of it, I have to cut more of the colorful stone off of it. Don't want to do that. Just want these ugly little whites to go away and give me bright greens and reds and blues and purples. So much to ask for these little white lines just to get lost. Yes, we all very much hope we have a Margaret in our lives and we can't take care of ourselves. Yeah, those little white lines in there are just not going to go away. I don't think they really get any finer than that. Hello, Christine. That front face is coming out really good. It's not really the front. It should be called the front, but it's not got the thing that's not broken on it. Well, the problem with wood is that it's not going to get a finer tip than the metal is before it bends out of shape and is in a larger, it would be larger than that. Right? So, I mean, using a toothpick and grinding it down in there can work a little bit on some things, but it works better for polishes. But yeah, I mean, it would work given enough time. For sure it would. Ah, dang it. Another case of didn't put enough glue. Most of them I only put a little bit of glue on because I'd only put a little bit of glue and then I'd touch it to the top and it'd stick to the nail immediately. So, apparently it's coming back to bite me in the butt now. I'm going to switch this to a bigger 600 grit. Yeah, depending on what happens here in the near future will really depend on what I use for my lapidary tools. Because if I have my say in anything, I'll have that bus up and on the road to some dig sites and be doing lapidary out of it. That would be my preferred life, would be traveling from dig site to dig site, or even just being, stationed near the fire agate mine. Or I have lots of things that could be possibilities on what I could do, but they all hinge around me going and getting that license, and I really need to do that. And I went to set up my DUI classes, and man, it's really frustrating to go and have to take DUI classes for a DUI that you're not actually guilty of, that you never should have been charged with, that you blew under the legal limit for, but you're in a county that used to be dry and they try to railroad everybody into the system as deep as they can. And now I have to go relive all of that garbage. I have to go and get the police report and the arrest report, and the whole thing was illegal by the police officers. They stopped me, they ran me, gave me a 144-mile-an-hour speeding ticket, gave me my license back, and then before I pulled off, told me to stop, took my license back, then ran me through a DUI stop, then found a bottle of pills on the ground, then charged me with the bottle of pills and charged me with DUI. When I get back to the fucking station, I blow on and breathalyzer, and I'm 2 full points under the legal limit. Like 2 full tenths probably is what it is, because it's point, you know, blah blah blah. It's not, but 2 full points under the legal limit. But my dumb ass never even gets convicted of it because I fight the whole case for so long that it was like 3 years I fought the case, and the judge and the prosecutor kept trying to give me 15 years and kept trying to get me to take a deal for 7. And I thought that was absolutely insane for what I was fighting, which was trafficking charge, which should have been a possession charge of phenethylamines. Should have been a constructive possession charge of phenethylamines. And anyways, a judge approached my wife and told her if I just pled straight up to the court that the court would go lenient on me. So I did that. I got convicted on everything because I'm dumb and didn't realize that I was going to come back to have a DUI within 5 years of a DUI, because it was like within days of 5 years of the first actual real DUI I actually got. That's why I'm not on the road right now, probably. Getting me back on the road hinges on me getting that driver's license back, because I drove around without a driver's license for years, and I'm just done being wanted by the law for dumb crap. I'm ready to fight every single instance I've had interaction with police and all that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being abused by the system. It's been going on my whole damn life. And it still happens, even when I was recording stuff for the Mining America channel. I had a police officer when I was recording the video for the Idaho ruby mine. While I was sleeping in my car at a Pet Boys, sleeping in my car because I needed parts. Woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning with my window about being broken out and at gunpoint, and threatening me with all kinds of threats about how he's going to get in regardless, and I'm going to go to jail if I don't open the door, and all this and all that. Horrible situation where he ended up searching my car and finding some pot from Oregon I had in there, and takes that and charges me with it. And apparently he tells me, yeah, just go away for 2 years and this will go away, or some shit like that. That's not true. Apparently if you get charged with a crime in Idaho and you're not a resident, then it sticks forever. But if you're a resident, you get charged with a crime, and there's a statute of limitations. Is that even legal? You know they probably changed that after Oregon legalized pot. Oh, I'm missing questions, huh? Question about to go out today and buy a Dremel for carving, polish, fire agate. Where I go? Don't go out and buy a Dremel. Go to my playlists on my channel and watch the Chasing Fire series. And that'll answer a lot of questions. But don't buy a Dremel. If you're going to buy a Dremel, you want to buy a Fordham, which is what I have on the wall. So I'll switch cameras real quick to answer your question. So you want one of these. You know, here's a Fordham. I found this SR online for like 90 bucks somewhere, and that's a ridiculous deal. It's a super steal. But you can get a Prodigy right here, flex shaft, from from Rio Grande for like $100. And there are some quick release handles on Amazon where there were for like $15, and that's like way cheaper. But there's another great quick release handle on Amazon that's $65 that is an actual Fordham product, and it can take 1/8 collets or 3/32. You can use either one of those on that. That's the next one I plan on buying, is that other quick release, because then I'll put the collet in it for the 1/8, and I'll have a quick release 1/8 and a quick release 3/32. You know what? I want that other fine tip real quick. I'm going to use my other fine tip to get it something I'm not really liking. There we go. That should get that line out. I don't see it anymore when it's wet. It might be there when it's dry. That looks much better. Oh, I forgot I didn't switch the camera. That looks much better. She's a frickin' banger. Full spectrum here. It's like I hate to actually lose any of the purple on top, but it sort of has to happen. Sort of has to happen for it to really shine. I got to lose some of this red too around these edges, get that green to pop out, leave some of the red up here around the edge and in the middle, and then leave that deep red eye right there. But I need to lose it over here because it's sort of oranging out. I really want that brightness. I need that super bright stone. Like, conserving color that distracts from the quality of the stone is just not worth it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to lose any color. I'm just trying to lose any of the sort of sharp edges that can catch anything, that can hold any sort of anything, powder or dust or whatever. Oh, don't want to go over it. I'm just trying to smooth out this edge over here. I really need it to be smooth and fluid. It almost doesn't matter what shape it is as long as I conserve all the color. But jaggedness and layers you could stick a nail into or something like that, that's all bad. Like you want your layers to be laid down. Even if you can see them is fine, but and this one is not one I can work on a wheel either. This is definitely the bottom of it can be worked on a wheel, but the rest of this has to be done with hand tools. I think that's much better. Come on, what are you doing, man? I was focusing on my finger, but whatever. So, I mean, there's a little divot there, but that's not too bad, and all of the jaggedness is gone. That's really what I was worried about. All that jaggedness is gone now. I still have all the color. What to do about the color? Nope. I'm gonna have to move those. Maybe it's my chair. I have to do something about how these arms sit on this chair. Well, at least it's official. I figured out what the sound problem was. Here's to hopefully never having that problem again. When I have money and I can have a bunch of backup cords. Oh, I haven't seen it, haven't used it, and am suspicious of anything out of Harbor Freight. But if they have it on hand, sure, go ahead, buy it. The thing about Harbor Freight is if it's something you're actually going to use a lot, then you go ahead and you get that plan with it, and then you use it all the time, and you return it a lot. You know, you use a lot, and it breaks a lot, and you return it a lot. They'll let you return something over and over and over again. Because I mean, I returned a tumbler in a 90-day period like 8 times. And they always took it back because I paid for that. And every time you take it back, if you paid for the plan too, because it was the whole 90 days, but I paid for the plan. When you paid for the plan too, then the plan would get restarted every time I returned a new one. So I'd get another 90 days and another new plan and another 90 days and another new plan every time I returned it. And then I wasn't using it so much anymore, and that 90-day expired, but I still have the plan on it. So if I ever get to the point to where the tumbler breaks again and I take it in, then they are going to go ahead and replace it. And then if I want to have it to where it's has a plan, then I got to pay for that plan again. And then the whole cycle starts again. So I try to time it properly if I'm going to use anything from Harbor Freight. So I'm going to use the crap out of it and make sure it's actually a good one or break. Very welcome. Yes, opal is fantastic. Fire agate is just as amazing and much undervalued for what it is. You can cut a lot more opal in the time you can cut fire agate. Fire agate doesn't break like opal. It's not heat sensitive almost at all. You can wear it with anything. And with an opal like this, you have a lot of choices you can make, because this thing is so stunning that there's just like areas where you can decide on what layers you can try and go for and the color you want to stand out. And in other areas, it might not be there, like this area with that and then the orange right there. It really looks like this color over here really sort of stops on the top right there. Doesn't really drift down like it does over here. That red is directly underneath that green though. You can definitely get really great top grade fire agate rough way cheaper than you can get really great top grade opal rough. But if you just care about the monetary value of the item, then opals are going to be the way to go, because at this point they're much more valuable. But if you like getting in on the ground floor, then this thing's only been around for about 80 years. Maybe 100 years at this point. Maybe longer than that with natives and stuff, but who knows? It's not like you can really work this stuff with your typical point mapping. You know, you got to have wire. Yeah, some of this stuff would come out with color on top already, but Well, it's different, but it's not quite where I want it yet. Yeah, I love black opal direct. Justin seems really awesome. I have a crink in my neck starting for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm not sure if I'm going to last much longer because of it. Starting to feel like I need to go and stretch. How many people we got in the room, guys? Oh man, my neck. I sort of woke up with this little catch in my neck this morning, and now it seems to have gotten worse by doing this. I mean, my mission is almost accomplished. Everything is almost ready for free fall. Oh wait, that's not true. I got one more. One more. Maybe I'll shut it down and come back later tonight. What do you guys think about that? Should I shut it down and come back later tonight? So look at this thing, even with it just being a pre-polish. Heck, it's too tight. It won't do autofocus. Boom, right there. But you can see how the green really reflects the light, and the purple really just sort of diffuses it. Like you can see there's some purple there, but it really sort of diffuses it. Flattening out some of the bubbles helped a little bit, but here with it like this, I can also see some of the areas I wanted to address that I wasn't able to quite get at yet. You know, that right there I want to take care of. I couldn't even see it when the stone was wet and light was playing off of all of it. That spot. Now these other ones inside these crevices, I've been trying to get at them, and short of just gouging the stone, I'm probably not going to get at some of them, so I'm just going to leave some of them there. Hopefully they'll come out at polish. Here's definitely an area I need to address, though. Right there, and still this little lip right here. I want to try and get rid of that lip if at all possible, smooth them down on top of each other. And I might thin this stone out even more than it is. It's a super top-heavy stone, but you see why with these colors that are running down the sides and stuff. Like, not eager to get rid of the top heaviness, or even take it into two stones, because it does have this line right there. If I wanted to cut it into two separate stones, I totally could. It'd be two nice sized stones that are super bright. But I really love this as a single ginormous like man's ring stone or a necklace stone. This is once it's done, I want this to be like the type of stone I would have Matt Fisher work with for me if I could afford his magnificent jewelry. If you haven't seen his magnificent jewelry, you should look at my Facebook. I'm sure I shared it publicly. I share a lot of stuff publicly on my Facebook. Chris Lane says the plan is basically evolved into starting a new channel. Go out and mine the fire agate, bring it home to carve. No. If you're asking me, that's what my channel is. No, I'm just carving fire agate to keep content going up and perfecting the art of carving fire agate. If that's your plan, that's great. I plan on getting the bus going and digging all over the country. I have friends that I've recorded at their mines before that want me to come back. I have people that we don't get along politically, but when it comes to the mining and stuff, we see eye to eye on a lot, and they want me to come back out to their places and record some stuff and do some stuff. And the reality is that I have ideas and plans on getting other businesses started that start and branch off from rock hounding and viewers like you guys, and what, you know, what we would do in other businesses, shops and stores and stuff like that. I also have ideas to work with some people that I've partnered with in the past to, create um, tourist style area. So I have some stuff, I have some ideas about, but I have to get my goddamn driver's license so I can get on the road to improving this channel, which will help me get all the rest of that stuff and make the rest of that stuff a reality. Figuring out what my audio problems were was driving me freaking crazy. This is not quite where I want it at. The green on top is still not quite as bright as, like, say, that. That red, it's red, but it's still, at certain angles, it's just turning it into a brown. Let's see what time it is. 2 o'clock. Two people in the room. Oh, 10 people in the room. Don't know why it said 3. Hello, 10 people. And if that was your plan, Chris Lane, then maybe you want to come out and visit me for a day or 2 out here. We're compatible, because I need a partner to make my dreams a reality. I need somebody I can work with. I need somebody to help be a cameraman and help be a personality, and the job that I want, the stuff I want to do and the stuff I want to create, really, it takes more than one person. Like, I can do stuff on my own, but I have these ideas for doing certain things that they just don't work unless you have somebody there working with you on the idea. What do you guys think? I got 10 in the room. Shut up shop or keep on going? This stone's not quite where I want it, that's for sure. Close up shop and come back later. About time that we're not dealing with a bunch of horrible buzzing, huh, guys? It's the main thing, right? My incessant talking is all you want to hear. I keep hoping that down here it's going to turn into another color, but all I keep seeing, well, maybe there is a green under there. I see really thin bar of green over top of a really thin bar of gold, and it just oscillates like that one to another. I'm not really finding the good bar to carve to on this side. I think I'm just going to have to leave the orange, or maybe possibly cut the stone back a little bit later. Yep, I'm gonna need a different shape for those little fine circly spots I need to do. Everybody pretty much says, take a break, and I'm over here. Yeah, I will. Sort of nice to not have any frickin' audio issues. That's why green is just the best fire agate color. Like, it's just, green is always like, bang, I'm here. Hello, welcome to the party. Like, green is like screaming at you. Green is my favorite color. It's my son's favorite color also. Well, one of my son's favorite colors also. And in fire agate, it's the color that just jumps and pops and yells. Appears as though I had a little section like chip off or something right there. I don't understand why that ledge looks like that as opposed to the rest of it, but now I see why there's always eyes. There's always eyes because you want to keep some of that red, but if it's just over top of the green, it makes it brown. Damn, and that's losing it right there. That sucks on that edge. It really pisses me off. Makes me wish I wouldn't have messed with that section now. Tons of color and fun. Oopsie. Dropped it in the trough. Man, those rainbows down there low on the stone are really cool. Yeah, no, I figured out what the frames issue was. When I downloaded a driver in my computer, it reset a whole bunch of settings in a bunch of different stuff. It reset settings in one of my games. It reset settings in a couple of different apps, and it reset settings in this. And so the setting for it to send out the signal was not set properly. It wasn't set right. It had to be fixed. And so I did that today too. Between last night and today, man, I mean, I spent a lot of time making sure that my live streams were going to work again. And I was pretty pissed this morning when I started it and it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Couple little spots I didn't quite address yet. That's why. Mark it with a Sharpie. And see it through the water. Trying to make sure I don't lose any color at the angle. I want to get rid of the sharp edges that are there. There are some little sharp edges from the way the agate formed and dripped, or the way that the chalcedony cap came off. This is one of those with a chalcedony cap got pulled off at the top. Color got shown. Yep, don't let anybody tell you that Slaughter Mountain and Deer Creek are the only world-class fire agate, because the majority of the stuff you see here is California. At the same time, I spent like 5 months in that desert digging on what's supposed to be a private claim, but what a bunch of people, one steal from, which, you know, give or take this or that, and the other one, a bunch of other people basically make, you know, part of their living off of taking people up there for tours and stuff like that. I mean, they pretend that's not what they're doing, but that's totally what they're doing. I mean, they've been doing that since way before I ever came along. It's how they paid for those $100,000 Jeeps I wish I had. Tell you what, when you're up at the mine though, and you're doing something like fee digs and stuff like that, and you get a group that drives up and they all have like really, really nice 4x4 off-road vehicles, and they're not willing to pay to dig, it's a big fat fuck you. Like, it totally is. I mean, this side of the stone is just better, though. It can't help it be. It's just so dank. This side of the stone is so dank. It's not broken. I mean, cutting it into two stones would actually not be inexcusable. It really wouldn't be. I shouldn't go after that. What I have right there is a green layer on top of a bronze layer on top of a green layer on top of a bronze layer. I want to remove the bronze I see, but it's so thin and the rest of the stone is so nice, I should probably just not mess with it. This whole stone is sort of standing up now, giving that look I was looking for earlier. Yeah, it's going to be truly great once I get it totally polished. part of the reason I had to make sure all this stuff is working is because it's how I plan on recording the video I promised to somebody. I need to make it so they can put it on their website and the stones to be ready for the polishing stage. Alright, dry it off and look at it again. Yeah, my neck definitely has a crink in it. Tried to save as much of the red and the purple as I could while still giving it a full body of green. I want that green to really stand out and not look like brown, so I thinned it out anywhere where it was looking brown to get the green to stand on top. So it should look like, you know, green bloodshot with red. And I'm hoping that some of that purple will show up purple when I polish it instead of a brown with the naked eye. Here's to hoping. It does look like that scratch is gone. And I don't have a flat spot anymore, just a spot poking through the purple. I'm going to look at it under a magnifier real quick. Actually, it looks like there is still a little bit of that crack left in it. I can see it under 10-time magnification, which means you should be able to see it under a jeweler's loupe. And actually, that's probably not even 10 times, that's probably 5 times. So almost there. Almost good enough, not quite. Oh, for those people that are new to grinding using foot pedals and stuff, one of the tricks to the foot pedal is to not use the top of your foot on the foot pedal. You put your heel where you need to put pressure. I wonder if that bird's starting to run out of diamonds. Maybe I'm at its end. It doesn't really want to do much work. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't realize you guys couldn't see anything I was doing. I was just focused. I'm focused on getting this. Oops. On getting this thing prepped well enough to where I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back on live later tonight and finish out the other stone. Because the other stone's another tiny work of art like this one. No. I'm going to polish it out and see how it looks, because there's a couple of things that I might want to change, but it depends on how that purple pops up. If that purple is still like browning everything out and it's not giving it proper shine, then I'm just going to remove that purple, and when I remove that purple, then I'll come back and deal with that little lip right there. I can feel it with my nail, which I don't like to be able to feel stuff like that. I want it to be smoothed out, but I risk losing the aesthetics of the top of the stone if I mess with it right now. It's really not that bad. I mean, as far as fire agate goes, anybody would be happy to have one of these. Big ass stone, man. They get bigger, but they really don't get much brighter than that. Alright guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pretty much down in the last 2 days, and they're all prepped and ready. Nope. Sorry. Looking for a place to hang this up so I can dry. They're all pretty much prepped and ready for the polish stages, or the pre-polish stages. I guess the polish stage is officially like the last stage, but you know, all the pastes in the polish stages, or maybe even a soft burr, depending on if it has tool marks. I try not to leave any tool marks. I like to go from this stage straight into my dye shine. But I have a couple of more stones to work on later tonight. Dwayne Jr., which stone are you asking? Are you asking about the one I was just working? This stone is probably never going to be on Etsy. If somebody wants to buy this stone, they're going to have to hit me up privately and make a ridiculous offer. There's 2 stones in here right now that I don't really have a plan on selling. I really do need to pay bills. I really do need to bring money in. But those are 2 of the best stones I've ever had come out of the ground yet. And one of my biggest pet peeves right now is that I don't wear any. I don't have any. Like, I would like to have a necklace piece that was better than the beautiful stone I had as a necklace piece that, you know, ended up breaking on me, that now I'm going to turn into 3 stones, which, you know, that'll be a video for later. But I'll come back on tonight sometime around 7 p.m. my time. So that's 5 p.m. on the West Coast and 8 p.m. on the East Coast. So sometime around then I'll be back on tonight. I'm really happy that the live stream setup is working. I plan on recording some videos. But tonight I'll do another live stream with everybody, and I'll finish prepping these stones, because the next video is going to be a deshine video, polishing up, and producing a video I promised. So I love y'all for watching. Thank you for being here. If anybody has a question, pop it out real fast while I go and turn my air conditioner off, and I will answer it. Or if there's any questions I missed during the live stream or anything like that. And I have a bunch of people telling me I need to take my live streaming act with this over to Twitch, that I will be treated better, and that I will be, not by the fans, but that the algorithm will treat me better at Twitch, that I'll get a lot more viewers doing this at Twitch than I will at YouTube, and it'll turn into money. I don't know if that's true or not, but let me know what you think about that. I appreciate that, Margaret. This stuff, especially this stuff, deserves gold. Am I wrong? Can't afford the gold. What I need to do is I need to find somebody to trade one for the proper amount of gold, and then I need to have another one that's of high enough value to trade that to an artisan to put them all together. That's what I really need. So if you got any questions, go ahead and ask. I will answer them as best I can. And just so you know, the Cash App and the help get the show on the road and the PayPal, that's not a joke. If you got anything to send or you want to donate, go ahead and send it to me. As you've noticed, when I live stream like this, the quality's really great, but there's no advertisements anywhere in it. I don't understand why the app works like this. It does not allow me to put advertisements in if I use this streaming service, but obviously it's the best with the way that I can use my cameras and I can do multiple shots and I can have clean audio. It's not just coming out of the air with the grinder and stuff like that, although the grinder's right in it. So maybe not now, but think about it in the future, because I'm definitely going to be doing a funds drive trying to get that bus and help get this show on the road. I definitely want to get this show on the road. So yeah, I love y'all for watching. I'll see you later tonight. Wait, what? Twitch? I'm thinking about it. We'll talk about it again later tonight. Try about 7 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Thinking about taking the live show to Twitch. Come back, let me know what you think about that. Or leave a comment in the stream, after it's up or something.